The White House and Congress will consider the 500,000 Puerto Rican voters who say they want to become the newest state. A new study links long-term aspirin use to a higher risk of bleeding in older adults. The CrossFit Games will bring 16,000 people a day to the Alliant Energy Center. Many people will be coming by car, but given the athletic nature of this event, we're going to see more folks walking and running here. Hattie is outside for the final time this morning. That wind has been torturing her since 4:30 this morning. A hat is certainly needed today. The Dane County Board is one step closer to a multi-million-dollar renovation for the Alliant Energy Center. Strong storms and tornadoes earlier this week have many towns cleaning up. Part of this tree is still standing, but most of it is taking up the road here on Tucson Trail, leaving cars with just this much space to get by. At least it's going to cool down on Father's Day. I'm sure a lot of people are happy to hear that, Hads.
Yeah, it won't be quite as humid.
All right, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
There's new research concerning pregnant women. A new study says birth defects are more common in babies from mothers who are overweight during pregnancy. There's a rollover crash backing up the eastbound lanes on the Beltline near Todd Drive. You can expect some delays. Madison police are still looking for the person responsible for yesterday's fatal shooting. It happened at the Mobile gas station on East Washington Avenue just after 2 Wednesday morning. A panel of federal judges refused to reinstate President Trump's travel ban on citizens from 7 Muslim-majority countries. The man accused of causing significant head trauma to his infant son returns to court later today. We're learning more about the death of a Wisconsin state trooper. A reconstruction investigation reveals Trooper Anthony Borostowski was driving at a top speed of 122 miles per hour. He's filed paperwork to trademark the Rock On sign. Simmons claims he was the first person to use that gesture during a Kiss tour in 1974. But owning the symbol might prove difficult. Madison police are still working the scene here. I've seen officers come in and out of the 7-Eleven gas station here. There's significant damage all over Verona right now. This house has 2 uprooted trees in the same yard. One of those trees is resting on the house. You walk down Monroe Street and you can see that crews have already filled a number of potholes. They've been at work since January, and so far they've filled over 16,000 potholes all across the city. But as you can see, there is still more work that needs to be done. Experts say you can't expect to lose a few hours of sleep and safely function behind the wheel. Now get this, getting just 4 to 5 hours of sleep more than quadruples your risk of getting into a car crash. At 54 years old, Consuela Shaw prided herself on staying out of the hospital.
Because I've never had any illnesses, ever. I've never fallen, broken anything.
But in 2012, that all changed. She was diagnosed with stage 3 triple-negative breast cancer.
I always thought I was the exception to that.
It's an aggressive type of cancer that doesn't respond to typical treatments.
How did this happen? How did you arrive? Could this be real? Is this factual?
But the one question she didn't think to ask is, why is this more common for women of her race? According to the National Institutes of Health, triple-negative breast cancer is twice as high in black women compared to white women.
We don't know why this is.
Dr. Ruth O'Regan from the UW Carbone Cancer Center has studied the causes.
Is it a genetic reason? Is it an environmental reason? We don't know at this time point.
In July, NIH launched its largest study ever to look at genetic factors that contribute to this disease in black women.
We lose way too many black women to breast cancer, specifically triple-negative breast cancer. So I think it's very key that we do look at that demographic and try and see if we can improve outcome for patients.
Unlike other breast cancers, treatment for this type of cancer is limited.
The only treatment that's approved for triple-negative breast cancer is chemotherapy, which unfortunately doesn't work in all cases.
The cancer has spread to Shaw's arms, lungs, and liver. She's in her 3rd round of chemotherapy.
I'm calling this last drug my miracle drug because this is my last chance.
Never thinking she'd need to spend her days in and out of the hospital, and never knowing the lessons cancer could teach her.
Love, more love. I have found out more things about myself this year than I've known my whole life.
It was about 4:30 when we noticed the water was coming up.
Kenny Klingeman is no stranger to floods.
See, I've been here a little over 19 years, and this is basically the 4th flood now.
Yuba's last 3 floods happened over a span of 3 years.
Because I've been flooded 2007, 8, and 10.
Each flood has taken a toll on his business. The tavern owner says from today alone, he could lose up to $300.
Which doesn't sound like a lot, but for me, here by myself, it means a lot.
Basements turned into pools
It gets pretty deep.
and roads turned into rivers.
There's a lot of roads that are impassable right now because it's washed all the gravel and stuff right off the road. I called the sheriff's department and told them to page out my firemen.
Within minutes, Yuba volunteer firefighters laid down about 100 sandbags.
We had about a half an hour to do all this, and it did work out.
The focus now is to save the big motor at the feed mill.
That's our biggest business we have here in town.
For Klingeman, it's recovering his walk-in cooler compressor.
And I won't know until after it's all done whether it's any good or not.